The Kevin Durant sweepstakes have quieted down, but that does not mean that the Brooklyn Nets will be willing to settle or lower their asking price anytime soon, as the Nets aren't interested in a Kevin Durant trade with the Raptors if Scottie Barnes isn't involved, for now at least. Last week, ESPN's Woj reported that Barnes was a non-starter for the Raptors in any Durant discussion, while today on Get Up, Woj mentioned once again that the Raptors aren't looking to trade Barnes and added that the Nets wouldn't consider a deal with the Raptors that doesn't include the Rookie of the Year. And I quote, "Toronto doesn't want to part with Scottie Barnes. That's their stance. Brooklyn right now wouldn't consider a deal without Scottie Barnes," close quote. Here's the whole clip.
They've got to get significant value for him. And the trade scenarios out there are still complex. Miami is a very motivated team, but we've been through it. Bam Adebayo and Ben Simmons can't be on the team together based on their contracts. There would have to be a lot of third and fourth team involvement. Phoenix is a little more limited now because they can't trade DeAndre Ayton. They were never going to trade Devin Booker. Do they have enough assets to do it? Toronto doesn't want to part with Scottie Barnes. That's their stance. Brooklyn right now wouldn't consider a deal without Scottie Barnes, and there are still other teams out there.
So this for now puts an end to all of those non-Scottie Barnes trade packages for Kevin Durant. It seems like a trade won't happen between the Nets and the Raptors unless something drastic happens or unless Masai is able to pull something off without Barnes. 4 years ago, Masai Ujiri took a gamble and traded DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, which resulted in a championship. And now 4 years later, Masai is showing his commitment to the plan with Scottie Barnes. So trust in Masai. I've seen many non-Raptors fans say, "Oh, how wouldn't you trade Barnes for Durant? It's Kevin freaking Durant." I get it. Durant is still one of the best players in the league, and he is a guy that could put you over the top when it comes to winning a championship. But you don't trade away your future for uncertainty. Scottie Barnes just won the Rookie of the Year. Scottie Barnes is 20 years old. Throwing that away for Kevin Durant, who could very well pull these same antics again in Toronto, would not be a smart decision. Masai Ujiri and the Raptors organization knows better, so I am for this decision of not trading Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant. The Raptors obviously have a plan with Barnes and they're sticking to it. I've been adamant on keeping Barnes and trying to find another way to get KD, but if the Nets just want Barnes, then it's time for the Raptors to just move on and focus on this current group going into next season. The Raptors roster, it's pretty much set, barring any last second trades, but this is a team that wasn't in a position where they needed to throw everything for a mega superstar. They aren't in a position where they need to get desperate or they need to roll the dice. This is a team that is still within their developmental years, and this is a team that can be patient with their current group, with their current core of players, and this is a team that can continue to play the long-term game and trust in the current process that they got now. This is a Raptors team that we know they have shown a lot of promise. You got a great staff, you got a great organization. They are just better off playing this thing out and continue to build on what they got going on there in Toronto. So we will see what happens with this whole Kevin Durant sweepstakes, but at this point, I don't think a KD or Kyrie deal will happen anytime soon, at least for the offseason. And in all likelihood, the Nets will run it back this season with KD, Kyrie, and company. I don't see a team wowing the Nets enough for the Nets to pull the trigger. Clearly, the Nets have an agenda. They want a big-time young star in return, and a lot of teams are reluctant to do that. There was a report that the Pelicans reportedly had shut something down when the Nets asked them for Brandon Ingram. Obviously, the Raptors do not want to give up Scottie Barnes. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Nets to find a huge package for KD, and the same could be said about Kyrie. I know there's other rumors out there saying that Kyrie could be a Laker soon or whatever we have seen. I mean, the rumors keep on changing by the day, but my gut feeling now is that KD and Kyrie will be back on the Nets, and there will be no blockbuster trade for at least this summer. So that is basically the bow on that. We're going to switch gears now. I just want to mention some other things out of the Raptors news world. Malachi Flynn, I got to talk about this briefly. He scored 73 points in an impressive Pro-Am display. I don't care if this was just one of those regular games. It wasn't a NBA game or Summer League game. Malachi Flynn dropping 73 points against guys who play basketball every single day and semi-professionals. That's impressive. I mean, Flynn was balling out. He was showing what he could be, and I just hope that he can now use this and build his confidence, because you look at Malachi Flynn, this could very well be his last chance with the Toronto Raptors. His last chance to prove to Nick Nurse and company that he is more than capable of being that backup to Fred VanVleet. So Malachi Flynn hopefully gets the minutes to prove himself. I still believe in him, but he's going to have to show up on both ends of the court. He has to put it all together, because if Malachi Flynn does not show up, this could be it for him with the Raptors. As you look at the Raptors, if it's not Flynn, they can go with a duo of Banton, Brooks, or even Siakam Barnes when it comes to relieving some of those backup point guard duties. So let's see if Flynn can elevate his game. But nonetheless, this is a good start for him in the summer, building that confidence, building that momentum, and hopefully this results in Flynn having his best year yet as a pro with the Toronto Raptors. Then lastly, there was another trade rumor, or just somebody linked to the Raptors when it came to a trade, and this was on the Low Post, as ESPN's Tim McMahon mentioned that Bogdanovich might be a more likely trade target for Toronto than Donovan Mitchell. While he stressed that nothing is imminent, it does sound like Utah will part ways with Bogdanovich if someone can hit Danny Ainge's asking price. He said this: "I've heard rumblings there. The Raptors can certainly use a 6'8 shooter like Bogdanovich. For the Jazz in a rebuild, they're obviously trying to move him. So if Bogdanovich is indeed on the move, the Raptors could be near the front of the line for acquiring him. Since 2018, Bogdanovich has quietly averaged 17.4 points per game on 46, 40, 86 shooting splits. You look at Bogdanovich, he would immediately help the Raptors with their shooting woes. He is a bucket getter, although he's not a great defender. This is something to keep an eye out for, but this is something to more so keep an eye out for, I think, closer to the trade deadline, because this is a guy in Bogdanovich that could be a player who's on the move around the trade deadline, and the Raptors, they could be looking to get a piece as they move into a playoff push. So we'll see what happens over there in Utah. We'll see if a Donovan Mitchell trade happens this summer, but if the Jazz indeed blow this thing up and have a full-on fire sale, there could be some interesting side pieces that could be on the market. So we'll see what happens with all of that, but that is it. I just wanted to come to all of you with another news video, provide you with the latest updates out of the Raptors and NBA world. We'll see what happens with the KD sweepstakes, but like I said, if I had to bet on something as of today, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving will be back on the Brooklyn Nets going into next season. I don't see a trade happening, especially with the Nets asking price being sky high. That is it for me, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on those post notifications. About 66% of you are watching my videos but are not subscribed, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and keep it locked and loaded on this channel for Raptors and NBA content all year long. This is Luca Rosano signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next video.